Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new series of conversations with Shreya. In this episode, we are diving into what it really takes to build a meaningful and future ready career, exploring the challenges, choices, and mindset shifts that shape our professional journeys. Joining us today is Shravan Shetty, a leadership coach, career strategist, and a social impact leader with nearly 2 decades of experience in helping people find clarity and purpose in their work. Shravan holds an MBA from Ohio University and international coaching credentials from the NCDA USA. Over the years, he has worked with organizations like UNICEF and UNDP. Shravan is a sought-after speaker at a national and international conferences addressing Fortune 500 companies and educational institutions across India, Malaysia, Oman, and Kuwait. In this conversation, we will talk about building careers in a fast-changing AI world. So let's dive right in. Hi, Shravan. Welcome to
Shreya.
our show. So, how do you think the understanding of career in today's date has changed, especially with the emergence of AI?
When we look at the word career itself, the first thing that comes to our mind, through our experience in school and college during our time was that you get into a job and stick on to that job with that particular organization for a long term.
Right.
So career meant for a profession which you followed like a ladder, step by step.
Hmm.
I think today it's changed because of AI. One doesn't really look at the longevity of a career. One is looking for purpose in a career. That being said, it isn't necessary that one should look at a career anymore in a linear optics, either from the employee standpoint or from the employer standpoint.
Right.
So I think that's changed dramatically.
That's interesting. And what you mentioned about climbing the ladder, but being more experimental is what is the world demanding now, being more experimental with the career. So you have worked with both youth as well as corporate professionals. So how was your experience different coaching the youth, and what was one major difference that you saw while coaching youth and corporate and professionals, experienced professionals?
So that's a very interesting question, and it also put things in perspective for me. So I guess the simplest analogy that I can give, when we look at the youth today and we look at experienced professionals, they are at different ends of the same rope. When you're young and you're getting started on your career today, there's so many different pathways to pick for in terms of what you need to study, where you want to work. So it's a problem of plenty.
Right.
And on the other end, with somebody who are in their 40s, mid 40s, inching towards the end of their corporate career, the options are limited. So I would say, to put it in a nutshell, in one case with senior people, options are running out and they need to see how to reinvent themselves. In terms of the young, they have plenty of options, but how do you align that to your interest, your dreams in life? That becomes crucial.
So I have a follow-up question to this for the
Sure.
youth. So what are some things for the youth to keep in mind while in order to help them to make a conscious choice, an informed decision about their career? How what are some of the factors that they need to take into account to see that okay, this is what aligns with me? How can they align their interest with their career path?
Oh, definitely. I think as young people, what they need to do is to dive in. There is something that all of us refer to as analysis paralysis. With the young, they're consistently thinking about how not to fail. Even though today, when we look at media and what they watch, failure is glorified.
Yeah.
But that seems to be for their heroes. They don't want to, fail. As a result of which they're not experimenting.
Yeah.
So they wait for too long and don't try out different things to really see what aligns for them. So I think the important word here is experiment. They need to dive into internships, part-time jobs,
Right.
take up a micro course, see if it's for them. I always tell young people when I'm working with them that there's a magnet inside us, right? So a great way of figuring out what career you want to take up is also trying a set of different things which doesn't work for you. So after doing it, you feel like, hey, this is not for me. So it's good to have like a journal where you try out different things and you can figure out why it doesn't work for you. Either because what you thought is a hobby cannot be a full-time career. In certain cases, you realize only when you dive into it, you realize that you might not have the tenacity and the intensity to get into that career. For example, today, as a young person, sports as a career offers a lot of optics. You see the Indian Kabaddi League, you see Football League, Premier League, and you think even if I make it to the IPL, I can earn a lot of money. However, it means that you should have already started playing cricket at a competitive level, representing your state by the time that you are 16. Should have already gone through the under 14 and such as a tournament. So if you've not done that, and when you go in for a cricket camp and you realize how others are better than you, that could be a way for you to realize, hey, I'm not cut out for playing football competitively.
In your experience, what are some of the uh, you know uh, challenges that you have faced in nudging youngsters to experiment, or some of the pitfalls that you would have noticed in youngsters? Okay, maybe they're a little resistant to or hesitant to do this. So what were some of the challenges that you faced while interacting with youth?
So I think I would, like to bucket it into two categories of teenagers. One category would be people who are very influenced by society and their parents and their family,
Right.
and they're not entirely sure whether they want to go against them. So as a result of which, they're just going with the flow, even though intuitively you can sense that when you're talking to them that they're not really into it. Their marks don't showcase it, right? To get them to open up, to feel safe and comfortable with you is a challenge. Now, on the other side, you have another set of students who want to do their own thing, and there is a reality check that one needs to give them. In both the cases, what I find is the challenge is in the available time is to make them feel that they're safe with us.
Yeah.
So what they're sharing with us, will stay confidential, but a part of it will be shared to help them, negotiate their future, aligned to their interest, personality, and aptitude.
Right.
So getting them to open up is becoming more of a challenge because a lot of times our engagement is also getting digital. We don't have the time, nor do they have the time to engage, build a rapport, and then get into taking decisions. So a lot of times within one or two meetings, we need to see how to nudge them to look at what they want to do, right?
Okay. You have been coaching for nearly 2 decades. So you would have worked with millennials as well as Gen Z. So the current workforce is the Gen Z workforce. What difference do you see in the mindset, in the way they operate, in the way they operate and the way they perceive the world?
So I think that the primary difference is a sense of ownership and responsibility and accountability. Millennials seem to be the generation which decided to take on, the ethics and the optics of the earlier generation, of trying to do more each time to prove themselves. And they also are consistently worried about, ensuring that they leave the organization that they worked with mostly with a positive image, even if they're overworked,
Right.
even if the work is not so interesting,
Right. Yeah.
and not aligned to what they were promised. With the current generation, they will make up their mind sometimes in 2 weeks, sometimes in 2 months, that this is not for them. Despite the college asking them to stay on minimum for 2 years, or the company saying, see, we're hiring you, keeping in mind our plans, you will find growth. But that doesn't matter to them. If you're not going to engage them, and if they feel that, they're not getting what they want, they will leave. And unlike the millennials who believe that you work, 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 and you will, eventually get what you want, they don't believe that. They believe in work life balance right from the word go.
So, do you think organizations are realizing this shift in the mindset in Gen Zs, and are they taking any steps to address this?
very few organizations are realizing this and are trying to address it. Uh, some of the things that they're doing is they're offering flexibility to this generation in terms of remote working. They're also giving them the opportunity to kind of pick projects and looking at certain outcomes, which involves diversity of engagement for them. That being said, I think companies are still trying to figure out how they're going to address this. And they're able to do this based on the price point in which they're hiring these young people and what is the value that they're unlocking. So I think newer age technology companies have the financial muscle to help with this if they're hiring high quality talent, and even if they're giving them this remote working, they're seeing the outcome that this is leading to profit for them.
Right.
But I think by and large, organizations are still expecting that they will toe the line, the employees will toe the line rather than adapting everything for them. And I think that's also resulting in a over the top AI automation focus, with a lot of baby boomers and millennials believing that it's better to automate the system than deal with the challenges of managing the emotions and the expectations that this younger generation has.
And with the experienced professionals, for someone who wants to pivot or transition away from a job that they have been doing for quite some time, that transition is not going to be easy, especially if they are choosing to get into an altogether very different pathway. So, what are some key mindsets that they need to develop? A, and how do you go about coaching such individuals? What is your approach?
So thank you for this question, Shreya. I think it hits the nail on the head. I would say the single mindset shift that experienced people need to do is to shift from certainty
Hmm.
to curiosity.
Hmm.
That's very key, because they want everything to be going as per plan. But the economy, the politics of the globe today, countries are at war, so certainty is definitely not something that we can expect.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is very very necessary for us in this VUCA world, to move towards having a sense of curiosity, and also be open to reverse mentoring. By reverse mentoring, I mean that as an older person, you should be willing to engage with somebody who, in terms of package, in terms of seniority in the organization, might even be 10 years junior to you, to learn from them.
Yeah.
And because that's the fastest way for you to pick up technology, also understand what is it that young people who could be your customers or clients want. Now, if I'm working for a company which is into consumer goods, and if I have a young person who is the buyer persona for that, engaging with that set of young people can help me to stay relevant. So it's very important to move from certainty to curiosity, so that you stay relevant. Otherwise, I think everybody who's an experienced professional can take on this pedestal that I know better than the younger generation.
Yeah.
Which might be true in certain silos, but not in terms of every specific thing.
Correct. Staying relevant, that's very important. And so, what are some skills that you feel are absolutely necessary, irrespective of if the individual is an entry level professional or an experienced professional in the coming years, maybe say next 5 to 10 years? These are the must have skills for individuals to stay relevant and sustain in their career in long term.
So to add humor to it, I would call these cluster of skills sad skills. Okay.
Okay.
So one, of course, is sad when you break it up. S stands for soft skills or human skills.
Okay. Huh.
Second, the most important pillar, which is a skill cluster, is adaptive skills.
Uh-huh.
For you to adapt to people, for adapt to people of different cultures, different age, gender, diversity there. Third is digital skills. So irrespective of whether you're young or old, you can't take it for granted that what you know is enough.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
important to keep adapting, keep picking it up, keep looking at different versions. I think the best analogy that one can give is that today, if you have a smartphone, it's not that you buy the smartphone once and it's enough. You have regular software updates. And we know that OnePlus has different versions, iPhone has different versions. The software is getting updated. So it's very important for people to realize it's the same thing with digital skills. Just because you download ChatGPT or you get Perplexity free with Airtel and you use it 15 minutes a day, it's not enough. You have to go down the rabbit hole, just like you scroll mindlessly on Instagram sometimes, watching videos, of anything that makes you laugh. It's very important for us to also do the same with respect to, focusing on these skill sets to stay relevant. So I would say SAD skills, which is soft skills, adaptive skills, and
Digital skills. So, what, according to you, as we discussed earlier, with the emergence of AI, a lot of jobs are, for the lack of a better word, instead of getting replaced, they are evolving. A lot of jobs which we didn't know existed are existing today, and we are anticipating more such jobs. So, what are some jobs that you are, according to you, you feel, ki, okay, this might be a job that we don't have today, but this will be there maybe 10 or 20 years down the line, and one should have developed skills and competencies to be future ready. So what are some of the jobs, according to you, like will exist in the coming 5 or 10 years?
So when we look at the landscape of jobs today, definitely when we look at healthcare today in a country like India, the human touch is very, very important.
Right.
So I don't think in the next 20, 30 years, uh, we are going to see a dramatic shift where people are going to be okay getting checked by a doctor and getting feedback who's a robot.
Right.
So they would want that human touch. That being said, across all professions, even though the delivery to ensure that the service is faster, we might keep out human beings. At the back end, you need to keep ensuring that it's responsive. Now, responsiveness cannot come in until unless there are human beings applying it, because that's going to help with the decision between, going for one bank versus another.
Right.
Even though all my transactions are automated, when I have a problem, do I get a strong human response? So I would say that it's important to look at the fact that there are a lot of jobs that are going to be available which are human centered AI and not AI in isolation. And we have seen enough instances today. As an educator, I'm sure, Shreya, you would have come across news articles in the US and other parts of the world where ChatGPT did not stop a young person from doing self-harm.
Yeah.
So we also, I think yesterday or today, DC Comics talked about, them not going to be using AI for their artwork.
For their artwork,
right?
yeah.
So we are seeing that organizations also are taking measures to protect jobs also. And this is not a purely selfless step from them, because they also are realizing that if they do not boundary the AI evolution growth, uh, the growth curve, we will have a situation where they might land up cannibalizing their own future.
True. Yeah.
So it's important to kind of figure that out. And I think whether it's organizations, for profit, not for profit, young people, old people, everybody in the community will begin to have more and more conversations as we see the downside of AI also. We could see humanities being severely impacted if people who are artists are able to copy artists' work and make it their own in the name of saying AI enabled it, right? So, which means that if you're having artists who are elites belonging to, a not so marginalized community, because of access to AI and other technology, if they're going to take age old traditions of artisans and then claim that to be their fashion,
Yeah.
that would be disastrous, in terms of looking at it from a humanitarian point of view. But that being said, I think as we take each step, there is a downside, there is an upside.
Right.
And I think we're back to our school, debates. From earlier on, we used to say, is technology good or bad? I think we are now very specifically saying, is AI a necessary evil? If so, how are we going to ensure that, it's not misused?
So, Shravan, we are seeing a lot of youngsters becoming social media influencers, content creators, YouTubers, including me. I have a YouTube channel. And so how do we, like, how do creators, after hitting a milestone, for them to sustain, like after, say, 5K or 10K subscribers? Uh, how do they go about it, like, and for someone who has a full-time job along with a side hustle of content creation, uh, how can they, sustain in such unconventional career paths?
That's a thought-provoking question, and to be honest, Shreya, this is a question a lot of school kids ask me when they're in their grade 10, and we go to school campuses and we talk to them, even college students. Off late, I've even had working professionals who are in their 40s who have bought equipment, looking at how to be a social media influencer, set up a home studio and started recording. Uh, so I think the key question here is to ask oneself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for money? Am I doing this for visibility? Am I looking at this as a full time career? And am I okay with the repetitivity of what I'm going to be doing? So it's very glamorous when you are walking on Brigade Road in Bangalore or you're somewhere in Pune and somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I watch your channel." Now the question is are these fans paying for what you are actually, you know, uh, day on day, if you are going to be releasing shows, is it monetizable? Right? A lot of social media influencers today are having the glamour, they have the followers, but it's not paying the bills.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
And it's also important to understand that most of these social media platforms today are changing their algorithms. So people who were in the first, in the first gold rush, if I can call it, they made a lot of money because they were paying for it. The platforms were paying for it.
Right.
Today, brands are talking directly to social media influencers, getting them to change their content so that it's palatable.
Correct.
So you
Yeah.
have stand-up comedians, who had sketches, uh, which are vernacular sketches, who have now started doing product placement very blatantly. Now, if that is going to be tracked by companies and they're going to track saying, did this result in so much of sales for us? And then the payment continues. Otherwise, they pull the plug.
Right.
So, what seems like I will be my own boss today, it also means that you have to pay your salary every month, for which you have to work harder.
Right.
So the same Gen Z today, which is saying there's no work-life balance, the moment you become a social media influencer, you will lose that work-life balance because you have to think up scripts. You can use AI.
Right.
However, after doing the scripts, the followers are also watching, 500 different channels. They're also checking and seeing if you're copying from others.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very important to keep reviewing how you're doing as a social media influencer. And if it's not meeting your life goals, if it's not sustainable, it's better to have a backup option. And for the ones who, like you, are having a full-time job and you're doing this on the side, you need to see if you're going to hit a monetization patch. So which means you launch courses, people are signing up for the courses, and you're hitting a certain subscriber base where organically people are taking your courses, and that's leading to money. Today you look at all social media influencers, they're not making as much money from their brands as much as they're making from the courses that they run.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whether it's the Ankur Warikus of the world, Raj Shamani, everyone is making money from their courses. Even
Courses, yeah.
Ranveer Allahabadia has a Beer Biceps Academy, and they have courses which give them passive income, which means you have to have great content, and they have both live programs which you pay for, and you also have automated programs.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it requires a lot of effort and also infusion of capital. Apart from social capital and followership, you need to invest a lot of money to make money.
So, just a follow-up question to that.
Sure.
So, as you mentioned, a lot of these content creators are launching their own courses, and there are a lot of online courses also available out there, like online MBA. You don't have to attend like an MBA school to pursue these courses, or short micro courses, which they claim are as relevant and as good as a full-time MBA. I mean, if you ask me, I'm a bit skeptical. I would think twice before taking up those courses. But what is your take on this?
I'm in the same boat as you, Shreya. I am equally skeptical. I'm skeptical because usually when somebody says I'm going to be doing an MBA program, and in a regular MBA program, you have the peer learning which comes in with people whom you're working on a daily basis.
Right.
You have faculty who are from the industry or coming in talking to you. There is social skills which is being built, business pitch, you're getting feedback. A completely digital program has to be really very robust to mimic all of this. Sadly, a lot of the course providers have no scrutiny, there's no accountability. It's not like I get a license and then I become a course provider. So today, anybody who speaks good English or even is strong on certain vernacular skills can launch it, and people believe them and take up these courses. So one needs to look at, if I'm going to go into the market, have I really built up my skills so well from this course that it's visible that it doesn't matter who has provided the certification?
Right.
If it is not doing that, then does that organization have the credibility where when I apply for a job, people see this organization as being credible and the content is aligned to some standards? Is it relevant, aligned to the skill set, the job profile you're getting into? So these are all very crucial questions that one needs to look at. And this is, I think, a question that every generation from the baby boomers to the millennials to the Gen Z are facing. Because even 10, 15 years ago, Shreya, I remember when I started my career, I had people come up to me and ask me who are working, can I do this SAP, course? This SAP course, they're saying that they'll give us a, opportunity to do a project in a particular company, and they will give us the feedback call if it comes, but they will not give us certificate.
Yeah.
So this was always worded in a very manipulative manner with young people from tier 2 tier 3 cities, from Bangalore and other places. And I remember telling them that what if this particular person moves companies, then he or she will not receive the email of reference, then your career is wrecked, because
Right.
that SAP certification has no value. And this is not an official SAP certification.
Correct.
So like this, there are multiple examples where people have done a master's program and it's turned out to be a fake university. But the fake university put in so much of effort to be digitally available, right? So here today you're having course providers who are offering you a course, and they are saying that you will build these skill sets. Now only after you pay X amount of money, complete the course, do you realize that it's not really doing what it was supposed to do for you.
Right.
So I would really strongly recommend young people and even people who are experienced to recheck the credibility of these courses that they're getting in from the employers also. See, it's a different thing if I'm an entrepreneur. Let's say I'm running a particular business and I want to learn some skill sets on financial management and Excel for my
myself,
personal
yeah.
reasons. Then I can sign up for an Excel course. It doesn't matter. I just need the skill.
Correct.
But if I'm going to use these Excel skills and then go and say I will be able to do analytics, and I join and I realize that what I've been taught as advanced analytics is just basic Excel. Do I know enough about this course and the profession to know that I've not been taken for a ride? So it's important for us to check these claims. Even 100% job guarantee, these are all fake promises by multiple online course providers. So I wouldn't recommend that one goes in for it without doing complete verification, checking the credibility of these programs.
Shravan, what are some mistakes that, common mistakes that fresh graduates do early in their career when they are entering a job, and how can they avoid them?
The first mistake that most fresh graduates do when they enter a job or a sector is they focus on the job offer that they're getting, how much money they're going to get, they look at work-life balance, they look at all of these things, but they don't do like a zoom out to see what are my skill sets, what I'm getting paid, will I get paid by a competing company? Are there enough opportunities? What do I need to do to ensure that I can earn more than 10% as an increment? So it's important to have some kind of a monitoring and review mechanism for themselves so that they are not taken by surprise suddenly if a company tells them that the company is going to fold up, if it's a startup. Usually we will find that in every ecosystem there are certain there is certain data available on companies, what's happening with that particular sector. So today I think both young people and also experienced people believe that once you join a company and if you work from, if you're on time and do your bit, the company will take care of you.
Yeah.
One of the founders of India's top IT companies, he very famously said, it's great to be in love with the company that you work with, but watch out for the day when the company stops loving you.
True, yeah.
Right? So it's like a one sided love affair. There's no commitment that I will take care of you for life.
Correct, yeah.
And I think as young and old today, we are in a world where whether it's the USA or India, incrementally even government jobs are not safe.
Yeah.
So forget about private jobs. So it's important in such a world of uncertainty that we are back to the jungle where we have to keep evaluating what are our resources and plan for your career, aligning your savings and investments also. Look at short-term career goals, mid-term, long-term. See, can you survive for a year without, if you lose your job? What do you want to upskill on to stay relevant? The moment you wait till you are, shown the door, it will result in a crisis. Like the time management quadrant that we look at, if we are focusing every day on crisis and we don't do enough of personal leadership in our own life, where we start planning for the future, a day comes when we are caught from all angles. Very recently, Shreya, I had a reach out from a telecom company, somebody who works on the team which is with Microsoft and one of its acquired companies, where there is this telecom engineer who's been around for almost 15 years, and the company suddenly asked him to go.
Yeah.
And this was reached out through somebody else who's a colleague at that particular company. Now I'm pretty sure that if the person stayed for such a long time, the person was contributing to the company. But unfortunately, in the real life, it doesn't work that way. That companies, keep in mind that you, you took care of us, you stood with us in tough times, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And I always say that the least important person in larger organizations is the leadership team. And it's the leadership team which is actually getting paid the most.
Absolutely, yeah.
And very rarely does a leadership team which is getting paid the most actually are willing to take a pay cut, right? And as a result, you're having multiple situations where, there's been a debate on how the executive leadership team is being paid, a lot of money, whereas other employees have to take pay cuts. But I think it's important for the employee to realize that at the end of the day, you're not a shareholder of the company that you can demand an profits because you have part ownership of the company.
Yeah.
It's very important for young people and experienced people to keep evaluating every 90 days on how's it going for them. Zoom out, look at how the economy is doing, how are things globally affecting this particular organization or sector you're working in, right? There was a belief that if it rains in Brazil, coffee prices go up because the coffee harvest gets impacted. Today, we're truly global. If US puts tariffs on India, sectors get impacted.
True.
Now, any employee who's young or old in a company believing that it won't affect them will be unpleasantly surprised one day where the company will say we can't pay because the tariffs have increased our cost of exporting, so we won't be able to pay you, we're going to let go of people.
Yeah.
And with startups, very recently I was reading up how Zepto got an additional round of investment, but it laid off 300 employees. So very clearly, even if I'm getting investments, I'm looking at cost reduction to ensure my investors, if I'm a startup, to continue giving me money.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's important to realize that no company exists to serve you. It is incidental that we work for companies, and we should remember that careers are meant to support our life, and careers and companies are not our life.
True.
So I think it's important to bring in financial acumen. I would urge educators and families to pass on fiscal management to their younger children, to their adults, and not wait till they're 30, so that when they get into their first job, they're able to save, judiciously.
Right. And as you pointed out, we live in the time of uncertainties, and when layoffs are happening every other day, even in major companies like Microsoft, Google. Uh, what are some of the key questions that if I'm a job seeker and I'm being interviewed for a job, what are some key questions that I should be asking the organization before I sign up for that role?
So I think it's important to ask questions from the word go, and keep asking questions in different ways, so that the company doesn't feel that you're being too demanding and you're taking up their space. It's important to ask questions about the company's future. Ask what skills are important, keeping yourself out of the equation, because the moment you ask somebody what skills do you want me to build, they might not be very very forthcoming.
Yeah.
But if we are going to say, as a company, if we have to grow threefold, what is it that as a company we have to focus on? So then a company will say, yeah, we need to focus on revenue, we need to focus on cost reduction, we need to see how we can be innovative in our product development. So this will give you a clue based on what your role is. What do you think is a direct skill that you can build, looking at what's being told to you in a town hall meeting, what they're laying across as the immediate future, long term future. So you can build your skill sets in that direction. Is it soft skills, where client relationship is very, very important, and they're looking at you holding on to clients and increasing the wallet share? Do you need to work there? Second is, in this space that you are in, tech skills and reduction of errors is important. Can you be the person bringing in the innovation, automation to bring down the cost reduction? Right? Are these skills that you can learn from the online university available in a large MNC you're working in? Do you need to reach out to somebody in your peer pool and pick up the skills? So you could be working in an ad film agency, and you might be interested, in widening your skills by talking to somebody who's senior in the field, whom you met at a networking event, who's a documentary filmmaker. Ask the person if you can apprentice with that person. Widen your skills. So you are able to also be seen by your organization as somebody who does more.
Right.
So it's important for young people not to stick to their job, work across teams, talk to people, try and piece together, what's happening, who's doing what.
Networking, a very important aspect that you pointed out. So, what are different ways in which students or early career professionals can start networking, start reaching out to people? Of course, there's LinkedIn, but other than online forums like LinkedIn, what other media or what other platforms they can use to grow their network?
So let me bring an analogy which is usually used in terms of investments. Warren Buffett very famously said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." So I think one can apply this in networking also. Today, as LinkedIn has expanded, we've reached a point today where everybody is on LinkedIn using it as Facebook, if I can say so, right? Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So one wonders today whether any real-time networking is happening. You also have scenarios where somebody will, meet somebody who's a cab driver, talk about the person's struggle, put up a photograph of the person, and everybody hits a click and a like.
Right.
Now, it's important to realize that it's important when everybody else is going digital, you go non-digital to build your network. You can use digital as a starting point. For example, I don't know if Coffee Mug is still around and relevant, but Coffee Mug used to be like a platform where you can, build up your profile, and you can start connecting to people to have like a call with them. So you
Okay.
can be a person looking for investment, you can be a person looking for expertise. So you can have a weekly call with different person, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, talk to them. So it's important when LinkedIn is giving you such a wide network of contacts to go in specific and not look for likes and how many people will like your post.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by saying that when everybody else is greedy for likes, be fearful of likes and be greedy for one-on-one conversations. There was an era in LinkedIn where everybody was trying to connect one-on-one, and they were not doing what they're doing right now in terms of using it as Facebook and Instagram, where people were trying to look at larger messages, for social good, for networking, being a mentor. Today, LinkedIn is giving everybody a chance to become an influencer.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's very important to look at, because until unless you have decided that you're going to be like a leadership trainer, coach, evangelist in a particular area, it's important for you to build one-on-one connects, which is very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, people do respond. I remember I was watching a podcast by a venture capital firm in from Bangalore, where they featured this gentleman who was part of the senior leadership team at Zoho. Uh, this gentleman called Rafaq Aslam, right? And I watched him as a guest on this Prime Venture podcast, since he was part of the creative team with Zoho for a long time. Now, I just reached out to him and connected. He responded, we connected. Then he came down from Chennai to Bangalore. So, I reached out to him. We had a conversation. He said that, he's ready to meet. So I actually met him, at Brigade Road in a coffee shop. We had a long conversation. So it's important, I feel, that even in a digital world, to have the human connect.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that I took the initiative and that's why it happened. I also want to establish the fact that Rafaq, despite his seniority, responded to have a conversation. It was not agenda driven. I was curious about his work. He was curious about what I'm doing. We met up. For the first time that we're meeting, he gave me a book, The One Thing, which is, about focus. So it was a very good conversation that we had. And as an outcome of the conversation, we discussed our networks. We talked about, so I told him that, let me see if I can, connect him to somebody who can benefit from his expertise.
Shravan, my next question was going to be on mentorship and finding the right mentor. Like, how can early career professionals can go about finding their mentors both online and offline?
I want to bring to your attention the way you phrase the question, right? I think that holds the key. How does one find mentors? I'm saying this because I think we've reached a certain point where a lot of young people are glued to their screens and devices, that they do not notice the opportunities that are there in everyday life, which begins from neighbors, which begins from relatives, which also includes the colleges that they attend, their seniors from college also. These are the first steps of, building a mentor-mentee relationship. I'm saying this because I find that in this current generation, there is a certain element of social shyness, which can be viewed by older people as arrogance. It can also be viewed as a quality that they think that they know everything. So it's important to seek mentors and explicitly ask for mentorship. They won't come to you. It's like if we were in college, as seniors, we expect juniors to come and ask us for advice. There might be one or two of us who will go out of their way and go and offer advice. But in a particular era, people used to respond. In today's time, a lot of young people, their facial expressions are immediate. So a lot of older employees in a company, people who are digitally also watching you put up posts, they wouldn't offer mentorship unless they're asked mentorship, asked to mentor them. So I think it's important to seek mentorship and also realize that we no longer are in an era where you have uh, mentors who can do all kinds of mentorship.
Right.
So you need different mentors for different areas, and one can do that on LinkedIn through the groups where there are specific groups on topics. One can enter, reach out to people. If you are from the marginalized community, if you've been part of a fellowship scholarship program, you can reach out to the founders and ask them for support. I have found a lot of organizations I have worked closely with over the past few years who have built robust platforms. For example, there is an organization in Bangalore which is run by a former corporate person, Jacinta Jayachandran, where her organization is very specifically working with young girls from marginalized communities. And they have very specifically in the reach out to people, ask people, can you help us onboard a successful woman in any part of the world, in any walk of life, and if they can commit to speaking to one girl every month, for a certain duration of, let's say, half an hour, for the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Not every day, but I'm
But
just saying.
yeah.
So this becomes like a first step, sharing comfort, safety, all of that. Then it expands. Similarly, I have, been associated with an organization called Aspire for Her. One of my college juniors from Ohio University, Abba Bagrai, she introduced me to Aspire for Her and told me about, she works closely with the founder there. And she has mentioned to me how Aspire for Her as a platform is something which is for women returning to work. It also has a lot of corporates and entrepreneurs, women who are in different fields of, different jobs profiles, senior leadership positions, who are offering their time to do free mentorship for young college girls who are in their first year, second year, final year through digital and non-digital events also. So today, based on where you come from and who you are, you have various associations and forums that you can network. Going back to what I said earlier about Warren Buffett saying, be fearful when others are greedy. It's important to also understand and acknowledge that young people today are no longer feeling safe because there are predators online.
True.
So when they reach out, they're not really sure if somebody will take advantage of them. So my outreach to them would be to verify some of these platforms, reach out to groups and associations so that you have safety, which are verified, so that you can have a measure of your own personal safety. So don't meet people in isolated places. Don't agree for, digital calls beyond a certain time. You don't need to switch on your cameras and expose yourself. So you can do the mentoring, saying offline also. I'm saying off camera also for your safety. In every specific field today, we have different associations and forum meetups that take place. So, do your groundwork and you can get into it. So if need be, what we can also do is, if people who are watching this reach out to you and they are from a specific background, let them write to you and then we can share information very specific to that group. If it's women returning to work, whether it's older people trying to move into a different sector who want to network, or it's young people from marginalized communities who want to network and talk to somebody in a particular profession, we can facilitate that.
Yeah.
At UNDP, what we used to do is we used to do interviews like this, which continues. So I think uh, people who are watching this should watch your earlier episodes and watch future episodes, because it'll give them an idea of who are prospective mentors whom they can reach out to for support also.
Right. Yeah.
Which is field specific sometimes also.
Okay, Shravan. So we'll, shift the gears a bit and coming to the experienced professional. So for someone who has been in a job for quite some time or in their domain for quite some time. So when does one know it's time to change their career or to pivot or to stay in the course?
So let me use two, three analogies to respond to this. First is, let's look at a treadmill.
Hmm.
If you are finding that you are on an aspiration treadmill, you aspire to do a lot of things, you are working very hard, you're visibly exhausted, you've hit a certain fatigue at your workplace, that means you're on an aspiration treadmill. You're aspiring to do a lot of things, but you're not getting there. You're running hard, you're working hard, but it's not resulting in any outcome, which means that neither is the income going up, nor are you content with the job. Your skill sets are not improving. Your confidence is also diminishing. These are surefire signs that you have flattened out your learning curve and you really need to do something else. Let's go a little further into the world of health, right? In the sense that today we know that anybody who goes to the gym and is trying to work a set of muscles, they do exercises.
Right.
After a while, that particular body of exercise is no longer giving you what you want. So then they say you have to shift your regimen. You have to move to a different set of exercises.
Correct.
So it is kind of like that. It's kind of like your bike, the mileage is going down. You've sent it, you've taken it for servicing, you've done everything, but nothing's improving. So it's important for you to ask yourself this question. Is it that the organization is not giving me opportunities? Or is the organization at a particular stage where they're bringing in young people or bringing in technology which is going to phase me out? Do I see the signs? Am I being involved in meetings? Have I been kept out of meetings? Do I suddenly find that I'm the last person to know in the organization in terms of what's happening? So these signs are very important for one to pay attention to. Am I, doing enough to be seen as a leader? Have I become somebody who just believes that I should be given my due because I'm senior and older? So as we were discussing, Shreya, one part is when the problem is you and you need to reskill, reinvent yourself. There is also the flip side, which is that it's an organization problem where the organization is focusing on what it does best, which is profitability. So however good you are as an experienced professional, you've risen to the top of the paycheck, right? You are being paid, you're in the top 10% bracket. So they will definitely look to substitute you with somebody else. I have a client who's been with the same organization in the GCC space, which is the Global Capability Centers, for almost 20 years. He started off at 4 lakhs per annum and now he's at like 35 lakhs per annum. And the organization in the town hall actually said that we're looking to ensure that when we look at the entire company, we want the workforce to be of average tenure or low tenure, which is indirectly they're saying that we don't want people with more experience to be, because we have to pay more with increments.
Yeah.
So let's cut out a few people, then profitability is easy to show.
Right.
So somebody who's at 40 lakhs, if I replace them with even with 8 people, with 6 lakhs per annum, it would be a different change. Of course, companies don't always plan it well. Sometimes they can make people go and then realize that the senior person was what was holding everything together. And psychologically speaking, we also have to deal with the reality that a lot of millennials suffer from the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
As somebody who's in his 40s, I have coached women returning to work. I've talked to people who are from tier 1, tier 2 cities, even people from the main cities, right? A lot of us are brought up uh, in the societal gaze where we're made to believe that we are not just enough. So a lot of times, even when we are succeeding, we, in the name of humility, we feel awkward when people praise us.
Yeah.
But today we are in a global world where you have to blow your own trumpet. You have to talk yourself up.
True.
And a lot of millennials are very awkward about doing it. They will do it as a joke with friends, but to do it on a daily basis in an organization is something which doesn't go down well with many people. And with that, you also add public speaking fear, taking up, leadership positions. It's an established fact that the only way you can grow is after a certain space is not as an individual contributor. You need to get into people management roles.
Correct. Yeah.
And today, a lot of organizations are not investing enough effort into helping people who are in their 40s build a skill set to manage a younger generation. Because they feel that anyway we're going to move these people out, why waste time on training also?
Right.
So it's important for an experienced professional to kind of see what's happening, talk to people outside, stay in touch regularly with recruiters, keep checking what's your market value out there, so that you have a good sense of what's happening. Just to wrap it up, it's important for people to see their skills in terms of shapes. McKinsey talked about X-shaped people, which is cross-functional skills. They talked about I-shaped people. That is what young people are when they're building, skill sets in a tunnel, right? Now, as we start growing our understanding of a particular field, we build depth and width and we become T-shaped people. But at a certain point, you need to move into cross-function so that you have like an optics of what's happening in all the other verticals, right? So as an experienced person, if you are getting into that phase and understanding it, you will surefire know that it's time for you to leave the organization before the organization
Decides to let
have
go
you
of
out.
you. And coming to the last segment of our podcast, this is a rapid fire round. So, like, we have a few questions prepared for you. Your first question is,
I'm
and
excited.
yeah,
Can I get a gift hamper at the end of this?
let's see. A book that changed the way you think about your work.
The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. This is a wonderful book which talks about different biases. Uh, and the biases range from sunk cost fallacy, likability quotient. So it's great if you want to know more about human beings and the biases that they carry. And this is a fantastic book for you to do a quick read through with good examples. The interesting part is that, from what I know, Rolf Dobelli didn't write it in English.
Time's up.
Okay.
Sorry, the next question. One career myth you wish people would stop believing.
One career myth that everyone should stop believing is that you should figure out everything by the age 25. And another career myth for older people is that you should be settled in your career by 50. You could be just into a different career innings in a different sector.
They were all before time. Okay, so the next question is, what is your definition of success in one sentence?
So, success in one sentence would be to be comfortable with yourself, irrespective of how well others are doing financially or socially. Success is having the feeling that you have arrived each day and you are content.
What is the definition of failure in one sentence? Your definition of failure in one sentence.
Stop trying.
To stop trying. Last question. One regret that you have in your life.
One regret in my life is that when I had the opportunity during my masters to go in for a new experience, which was to go in for a longer duration to the US to study and a shorter duration project to France, I decided by myself that this wouldn't be financially affordable for my family, and I think I lost out on global exposure. I should have taken the risk.
So that was an insightful conversation with Shravan. Careers today are less about climbing ladders and more about learning, experimenting, and staying curious. If this episode sparked some thoughts for you, don't forget to like and share it with someone who's figuring out their own path. You can also drop your thoughts, questions, or suggestions in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. And for more such amazing, insightful conversations and content, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep exploring, learning, and growing. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah. So this is going to be really rapid fire. I have no idea what the
Yeah.
question is. I don't think you send me those questions at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the whole point of rapid fire, right? Because I'm trying to find the questions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I found them.